Welcome to my poster presentation. My name is StephanDahm. Me and my research group are living and working in the beautiful mountains of Tyrol in Austria. I am investigating mental practice, which is the repeated use of motor imagery in order to improve motor performance. Now, the global question is, why does mental practice result in enhancements of motor performance? Actually, mental practice has often been shown to improve motor performance, although not as much as physical practice. One reason for this could be that effector-dependent representations are not acquired during mental practice, or that effector-dependent representations are acquired at later stages of learning in mental practice than in physical practice. To investigate whether there is effector-dependent learning in mental practice, we used a sequence learning task. Participants started each sequence by releasing the spacebar of a keyboard. They then pressed 10 numbered keys, which were labeled in a certain order, and returned to the spacebar. We measured movement time, which indicated the time between release and press of the spacebar. All participants were tested on 6 days in 4 test sequences, each with the practice and transfer hand. In the first 4 sessions, testing was followed by 60 practice trials. We had 3 different practice groups. During practice, the mental practice group released the spacebar, kept the finger on the spacebar, and imagined to press the numbered keys. At the moment they imagined to return back to the spacebar, they actually pressed it. The physical and control group actually pressed the numbered keys during practice as they did during tests. The control group, however, practiced a simple control sequence, which was from left to right or from right to left. The mental and physical practice groups practiced one of the test sequences. I will now introduce you into the main results. Effect sizes and p-values of the effects of the ANOVA with the factors practice group, session, sequence and hand are available at the static poster. The results showed a general improvement from session to session, which may indicate an adaptation to the task requirements, for instance, improved finger coordination. In the practice hand, sequence-specific learning was observed after both physical practice and mental practice. This was indicated by shorter movement times in the practice sequence than in the other sequences. Such sequence-specific learning was stronger after physical practice than after mental practice. In the transfer hand, movement times were also shorter in the practice sequence than in a different sequence, which indicates effector-independent representations of the sequence. Such representations are visual spatial in nature, as this was observed for the practice sequence but not for the mirror sequence, which involved homologous muscles. In physical practice, movement times in the practice sequence were shorter in the practice hand than in the transfer hand. This indicated effector-dependent representations in physical practice but not in mental practice. In regards to the time course of learning, sequence learning was stronger and faster in physical practice than in mental practice, although to a smaller degree effector-independent representations were also observed in mental practice. However, effector-dependent representations were not observed in mental practice. Thank you very much for your attention. For a deeper look into the experiment, you may have a look into the PDF file of the poster.